Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Chris. Happy weekend. Hopefully, you have something awesome planned. And if you're watching, please make sure to like and subscribe. So, today I wanted to talk about something that I do in my spare time. It kind of translates right in with the whole stacking venture. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, at least who does it, but maybe that at least thinks about doing it. And that would be metal detecting. So why do I metal detect? So it's something that I've always been kind of interested in. I'm a big like history nerd. Love history. Love military history, especially ever since I was a kid. I'm sure that's definitely not uncommon. But here on this side of the country, there's not as much military history as far as like battlefields, that kind of stuff. At least not from United States history. There might be other stuff like Mexican-American War, or like when the Spanish came and established like the missions here, that kind of thing. But and that would be cool too. Although unfortunately, I don't know as much about that kind of thing, where I would be to look. But the reason I mention it is I've always thought, well, maybe I'd be lucky enough to find some constitutional silver or other things like that, or trinkets. I am lucky enough to live by some pretty popular beaches, maybe 4 or 5. And they're all probably within a 5-mile distance. So pretty close. Actually, most of them are much lower than that. But they're very popular. So that gives me a lot of opportunity to be able to find stuff. Now, as far as what do I actually find, most of it is obviously trash. But every once in a while, I'll find an iPhone, find costume jewelry. I have found I found a platinum men's band. It wasn't marked or anything, didn't have any inscription. It's just platinum. So that was pretty cool. Sorry for the person who lost it, but there was no identifying information in there. I was able to find quite a few like different coins. So most of it is obviously modern stuff, and most of it's like low denomination, like pennies, nickels, that kind of thing. Every once in a while, you'll find something that you can't really identify. So like, the hard part is that a lot of the stuff gets like corroded, like from the sand and the water. So you can't really tell like right off the bat. Like sometimes I have to look at them through the loop to see like what the years are, to see like whether it's constitutional or things like that. Personally, I wish I lived a little closer to Florida, simply to be able to go metal detect those kind of beaches. But that being said, the other things that you'll find is every once in a while I'll find like foreign coinage. So like things from Mexico, and a few things from Asia. So take a look at this guy. So I found this, and at first I thought it was a washer. I was like, what is that? I was like, yeah, it's some type of washer. But then I looked at it closer, because at the time it was covered with sand. And I looked at it closer, and I was like, no, it's got writing on it. Then I remembered that some Asian currency has the hole in the center, because I guess the point was to put a string through the coin so that you can carry them on like a string. And I was like, I guess that's some type of Asian currency. So this guy here, it's a little bit corroded, so obviously I don't read the language. Not sure what it is. I tried looking it up. I think it's Chinese coinage. It's like super light, super thin, as you can see. But pretty interesting. So every once in a while you find stuff like that. But really what it is like, doing that kind of thing, like metal detecting, obviously there's, the chance for the big score. But it's also like pretty therapeutic to be out like in nature, like, well, I guess if you can count the beach as nature, but be outside, and it is a physical activity, because you do walk a good distance, and through the sand, and you're constantly picking stuff out and that kind of thing. So it's pretty fun, kind of kills, incorporates a few different things into one activity. So I really like that. But the things that I wish I would find are kind of like things like these. So these are like these are some of the Mexican Olympic coins that I picked up from the coin shop a little while back. These are pretty cool. I had never seen these before, and the coin shop had like a huge bucket of these guys. So I was like, it's funny because they had a few in the display, like maybe 10 or 15. And I was like, okay, I'll take all of those. And he's like, oh, he's like, you want more? And I was like, yeah. So he brings out like a bucket with probably like 300 in them. I was like, no, I don't want that many. But I was like, these are pretty cool. These are like, again, these kind of remind me of the Libertad. And the thing about these is like with the engraved edge there, pretty cool to see that kind of stuff. You can't really see it as well. I'm trying to get the right angle. I guess that's as good as it's gonna get. But to see like the lettering on the edge, the coin itself has a good weight to it. These, they all do look a little tarnished, which is fine. Like it just makes it, you know, this kind of thing, like if you saw a pile of these like lined up, this kind of thing reminds me of like old school treasure. Oh, that's pretty good. You can see the lettering there. But it reminds me of like, you know, a little while back, maybe like 50, 60, 100 years, like if you had a pile of silver, like that's what you would expect it to look like, that kind of thing. Or at least that's what the movies make you believe, right? So that kind of thing's pretty cool. I always wonder if I'm going to find something like this. So this one's an Israeli coin. Again, something I had never seen, something that I purchased at the coin shop. You see all kinds of random stuff over there, and so I'm always looking for, you know, something that's out of the ordinary. Especially like in the constitutional variety, as far as like circulated coinage, because it's pretty fun, like to be able to handle your bullion, not worry about, you know, getting it, you know, dirty or things like that, versus something nice like the Libertads or things like that. Obviously they're bullion coins, but they're nice, and you know, there's a pretty premium on them. Or like something that's more collector style, like things like these guys. These guys you aren't gonna really handle too much, like out of the package. But I just wanted to talk about how incorporating, you know, little things like, for example, metal detecting. Unfortunately, I don't get as much time to do that kind of stuff as I would like. But doing things like that, you know, every once in a while, I think I found like maybe this is just from the last couple months. A couple months, imagine there's like maybe $3 in here, but which is a few hours per week, or not per week, per month. But you know, every once in a while I do find like constitutional silver, which is pretty cool. But there's always the chance that you find something better. So that's why I do it, and I think it kind of ties in with like the whole stacking thing. You know, just like the people who coin roll hunt, I've tried that. I've never really had any luck. I think mainly with that kind of thing, it's like I don't know what I'm looking for necessarily. Obviously, I know how to find like the precious metal content, like the, you know, like silver, but it's tough. Especially, you know, there are a lot more people into that kind of thing these days, so it makes it much more difficult to find those treasures. Those diamonds in the rough than it was at one time before. So that being the case, I'm stuck purchasing bullion on a regular basis, which is fine. I don't mind bullion at all. I mean, who doesn't love bullion? Although I do think the best value for your money is going to be that constitutional. I always tell myself, oh, you got to get into it. You got to get into it. And then I'll go to the coin shop and I'll see something like these guys and I'll be like, I came here to buy, you know, war nickels, but I'm walking out with some pieces of bullion, some proof maples, or some Johnson Matthey or Engelhard bars instead of the constitutional that I came for. So one day I'll get back into that where I actually make a nice purchase of constitutional. I think it's definitely the best bang for your buck. Also, like I said, like I've been trying to purchase a little bit more gold and platinum. I do think, especially with the hit that they took a few weeks back, it's going to be, you know, a really speculative metal, for especially platinum. But I think there's definite value there. So I think moving forward, that's where I'm going to be. But if I see more of these guys, these kind of things, well, this one's actually a peace dollar was mixed in there. The new peace dollars, remember everybody was looking at those and then it became a debacle? Maybe better just to stick with the old stuff, even though this one's gotten pretty beat up. But it's not quite as smooth as this guy over here. That one you can't even really see anymore. But even these kind of things, when you hold them, like the feel of them is just so different than like if you're holding something like the modern bullion, like these guys. It just, has a different feel to it, and you feel that kind of history every time you mess with stuff like that. So pretty interesting. I love all that stuff, and like the more variety that I get into my stock, especially things like this guy, and then the Israeli stuff, even the Chinese whatever that is, penny or whatever it is of some sort. Even things like that are cool because every time I end up pulling them back out, it reminds me of when I got it, and you know that there are things out there that I've never seen before. Anyway, that's it for today, and I hope you are having a great weekend. Take care.